Welcome back to Bravo Breaking News. I am your host, Kim, aka Bravo Breaking News on Instagram. And guys, we had a slew of lawsuits come at us last week. In case you missed it, I have covered all of them. But today, I have an interesting update about the one coming from former Real Housewife of New York, Leah McSweeney. And this update is not going to look good for Leah because there have been some clips that have resurfaced that completely contradict what Leah is suing Bravo and Andy for. I'm going to break down everything you need to know, but before I dive in, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any Bravo breaking news. So in case you missed it, we got a slew of lawsuits last week that totally, I don't know about you, but ruined my week, and they're all coming at Andy and Bravo. One is from Brandi Glanville, accusing Andy of sexual harassment around a video that he sent to her with Kate Chastain. Another is coming from former Real Housewife of New York, Leah McSweeney. Now, she is alleging that Bravo producers pushed her to drink and use alcohol when she was trying to be sober, and also that Andy does cocaine with Housewives. Now, these are pretty serious allegations, but unfortunately for her, there have been some clips that have resurfaced that completely contradict what Leah is saying. Before we dive into those, let's recap what the lawsuit actually says. People reported, Real Housewives star Leah McSweeney sues Andy Cohen and Bravo for discrimination, alleges culture promoting alcohol and drug use. McSweeney is claiming the defendants established a rotted workplace culture where employees were pressured to consume alcohol. She also alleges that the defendants failed to maintain a safe working environment and accommodate her disabilities, including alcohol use disorders and mental health disorders. McSweeney added that she disclosed that she had broken 9 years of sobriety, but was sober by the time filming for season 12 of the show began in 2019. Reps for Cohen, Bravo, Shed, and Warner Bros. Did not immediately respond to people's requests for comment on McSweeney's allegations. McSweeney further alleges that producers knew she suffered from alcohol use disorder after she confided in them, but discriminated against that and other mental disorders by intentionally planning scenarios intended to exacerbate her disabilities, all in efforts to create morbidly salacious reality television. In a later section of the complaint, McSweeney goes on to claim that Cohen engages in cocaine use with Housewives and other Bravo celebrities that he employs, and has a proclivity for cocaine usage with his employees. Now, there's a lot to unpack here, but those are the two biggest claims that Leah is suing Bravo and Andy over. However, like I said, there is footage coming out of Leah McSweeney saying the complete opposite and actually doing what she's accusing Bravo producers of herself. The first is a clip from Ultimate Girls Trip 3 in Thailand. Let's take a look.
I was bored last night. Can you guys get drunk or something?
Leah said she's bored.
Oh, why don't you guys order shots?
We're not entertaining unless we're drunk? Like that.
Right, exactly.
So if you remember, Leah was completely sober during this trip and was not drinking at all. However, she was a little bored with what the women were bringing, and she was actually the one encouraging them to take shots and drink on camera because of it. Now, this is exactly what she is accusing the producers of doing. And the fact that there is footage of her doing this exact thing does not look good. Next is an interview with Leah and E.T. from a couple years ago. This interview was after season 13, Leah's second season on Real Housewife of New York.
Brony's definitely coming back. Whether who's going to be a part of it, I have no idea.
Do you want to be a part of it?
Of course. I think I would definitely, yeah, absolutely.
She is sharing that she loved being on the show and would like to return for another season. Now let me break down the timeline for you guys. Season 12 was Leah's first season. Just before this season, she had started drinking again after being sober for a very, very long time. I think at this point, maybe over a decade. She had shared in prior interviews that she started drinking before the season started to film. And we saw her relapse this season. I mean, we all remember the infamous Tiki Torch episode in the Hamptons. But season 13, she did turn things around. She was sober, Ebony was brought on as her friend, and she did film an entire season without drinking after becoming sober once again. This interview was after that season. She is claiming that she had a great time and wants to return the following season, if they'll have her back. Now, this last clip that I'm going to share is probably the one that puts the nail in the coffin because it is completely contradicting Leah's main claim about holding the producers responsible for her relapsing. The interviewer asks her straight up how the producers might have had an influence on her behavior.
I'm not going to put that on them for this because I made my own decisions.
When talking about that night throwing the tiki torches in the Hamptons, Leah says word for word, "I am not going to put this on them. I made my own decisions. The only thing that they do is that they put their cameras in our faces even more when they act that way." I mean, even one of these 3 clips is proving that Leah's lawsuit is based on lies. And with all 3 of them together contradicting almost everything that her lawsuit is about, I have a feeling that this lawsuit isn't going to last very long. Meanwhile, if you've been following social media, you've probably noticed a slew of housewives coming out in support of Andy. They are saying how he's a professional guy, he's been a pleasure to work with, and he has never offered them drugs. I mean, the list is getting long, and it's only getting longer by the day. Housewives like Kyle Richards, Candy Burris, Tamra Judge, Teddy Mellencamp, Margaret Josephs, Rachel Fuda, Melissa Gorga, Julia, Luann de Lesseps, Heather Dubrow, Ashley Darby, Dorinda Medley, Chanel Ion, Cynthia Bailey, Megan King, Lisa Vanderpump, Kiki Barth. I mean, the list goes on, guys, and it's only going to get longer. So I don't know about you, but I think that these clips solely are going to be the reason that Leah McSweeney's case is dropped. I think that Bravo has a case against her, and I think that her claims now do not hold as much weight as they did in the beginning, now that this info has resurfaced. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys have any other updates? I'm trying to keep up with everything, but there is so much going on. So drop your thoughts, theories, and opinions in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any more Bravo breaking news.